Hey guys, welcome to another CMM review. I am Christopher and today I want to provide you with a closer look at the Finow X5. This one's another smartwatch from China, but not the typical cheap one, but a high quality Android watch instead, so let's check it out. So if you order the Finow X5, you get this box, which does look quite nice. Inside is a charging dock and a USB cable. There also are some replacement screws for the watch's back cover. A screwdriver is included as well. To start using the Finow X5, you should first insert a SIM card, just in case you want to use the watch properly on the go. To do so, remove the 4 screws on the back and remove the thick and heavy stainless steel plate. Right below you will find the Nano SIM slot. When putting the thing together again, take care to fasten all the screws evenly and tight in order to maintain splash water protection. Build quality of the Finow X5 is quite awesome. Not only the back is made from thick stainless steel, the remaining body is as well. You can choose between a black and a silver model when purchasing the Finow X5. The wearing comfort is quite nice despite all the metal and the weight of 83 grams. The thickness of the watch is okay at 1.3 centimeters. One gets used to the watch pretty fast. The buttons of the watch have a nice tactile feedback and do not move. It's pretty much impossible to press them accidentally. The crown on the side can be rotated, but this does not have any function. Actually, it is just a normal button you can press. The upper button is a back key, the crown is a home and on-off key, and the third one is a menu and emergency call button. The watch's strap is made from leather, is matte black and features a fine structure. The strap appears to be made from a nice quality and looks decent, but the structure might not be to everyone's taste. Replacing the straps is not possible. They are mounted using plungers, but the antennas are built inside of them. One of the biggest highlights of the Finow X5 is its screen. The watch boasts a round AMOLED panel with 1.4 inches in diameter and a resolution of 400 by 400 pixels. Thus it can display your favorite watch faces in a very sharp and contrast-rich way. Especially in the dark, the screen really pops. Thanks to the OLED technology, black really is black, and that does not only look nice, it can also help to save energy if you use watch faces that are mostly black. Another thing we love is the thin 1.8mm bezel around the screen, which improves the looks even further. The glass on top of the screen is drag and rail glass and it's pretty thick, making it not only scratch but also shatterproof. Indeed, the watch survived some hard drops and collisions without damage so far. The touch panel only recognizes one touch point at a time, but that's perfectly okay on a watch. To zoom, simply double tap. The digitizer does not have any problems with small water drops on it. Typing on the on-screen keyboard works surprisingly well, which still impresses us from time to time. So what's inside the Finow X5? Well, nothing particularly spectacular at the first look, but don't forget that this is just a watch. So we've got a dual-core 32-bit SoC clocked at 1 GHz, the Mediatek MT6572. We also got a Meili 400MP GPU, 512 MB of RAM and 4 GB of internal memory. The sensor equipment includes a G-sensor, step counter, orientation sensor and a heart rate sensor. In benchmarks, the Finow X5 reached around 10k points in Antutu and 383 points in the Geekbench 3 multi-core test. No, as said before, that does not sound too impressive, but for a smartwatch it is perfectly fine. Since the SoC doesn't have to drive a high-resolution screen, the operation speed is fairly okay. Day-to-day apps work mostly smooth and with no issues, and even lighter gaming doesn't cause any issues at all. Something that could be better, however, is the memory situation. The 4 GB memory is divided into 2 partitions, which means that the memory on the app partition is used up quickly. Now there is the possibility to move apps to the data partition, but to do so you have to access the native Android settings, and for that you need an extra application. We used Settings Search to do so. But there's still an issue in case you used up a lot of memory on your data partition. There won't be much free space for your apps either. So in general, we would have preferred 8 GB of internal memory or even a micro SD card slot. By the way, the operating system running on the Finow X5 is Android 4.4.2 and it works quite smooth, which means they did a good optimization job. Over-the-air updates are supported by the OS, but Finow unfortunately doesn't make use of it. Updates are only released as SP Flash Tool images. Let's have a quick look at how you operate the Finow X5. So to wake it up, simply press the crown or lift your arm in case you activated that feature. Now you look at the watch face. To switch watch faces, you can press on the watch face for a second and the watch face list will pop up, through which you can scroll and choose your favorite. Swiping on the watch face from left to right reveals your notifications. At first you only see a list of apps that pushed notifications and the number of available notifications. Tap on the number and you will see all notifications in detail. Tap on a notification to open the app it came from, or hit the cross to delete it. And you can of course also delete all notifications at once. Swiping on the watch face from right to left gives you access to some more important features. There is a music player, quick access to the Pedometer and heart rate apps, as well as a weather application. If you tap on the watch face, the app drawer pops straight up. From there you can reach all installed apps and the settings and of course also the Google Play Store. Again, back on the watch face, swiping from the bottom to the top, the connectivity center pops up. From here, you have control over the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connectivity, can check the status of your mobile network, and you can also see the remaining battery charge, which comes handy if you use a watch face that doesn't display this information. Another menu you can open from anywhere inside the system is by holding down the crown for a second. This menu offers you a couple of quick settings like a D&D mode, automatic activation of the screen powering the watch down, enabling power saving mode, and also controlling the screen brightness in 3 levels. The pre-installed system apps have been optimized nicely for the use on a smartwatch. The phone and messaging apps both look nicely structured and are easy to use on the small screen. Also, the contacts application works like a charm and you can find your contacts quickly by swiping across the alphabet list on the side. The sport apps work nice as well. The heart rate sensor apparently is pretty accurate, but you have to hold your arm still while the measurement is running. The Pedometer app constantly tracks your steps without you doing anything. The distance is displayed as well as the burned calories. The measurement can be made more accurate by setting your body size, weight and your sex. Furthermore, the taken steps are displayed in a nice chart so you can compare your results of the past 7 days. There also is an interval feature which allows you to track steps during a time frame you set, for example when working out. Something we dislike a bit about those sports apps though is that you cannot sync them with your phone or Google Fit. So the Finow X5 isn't for you in case you look for an extension for your fitness apps. The Barometer app unfortunately isn't based on an internal sensor but uses data from the weather application instead. In a nutshell, no internet, no barometer. We have a few more negative points to mention. There's the calendar app, for example. The stock one is absolutely useless and can only display the date, so it should be replaced by the Google Calendar, which unfortunately only works when you disable the stock app before. And that brings us to another problem. To access the app settings to disable system apps, you need to access the Android settings, and exactly this is not possible out of the box. So you have to install another app as a workaround, which is Settings Search, as we mentioned before. Another thing we dislike a bit is the translation into other languages apart from English. German, for example, sounds like it was done by a very poor translation software, so we decided to stick with English during our tests. In case you want to use Google Now in a different language than the system language, you can set that up using Settings Search once again. Another thing that could be improved is the way how apps are displayed, or rather the fact that you can't choose the way they are displayed. By default, all Google apps for some reason are displayed in a square format, while all other apps are displayed in a circular format. Now, it would be much better if you could choose which app to display round and which to display squared. This would enable you to fix apps that you can't use because controls are out of this display area. Next, let's have a look at connecting the Finow X5 with a phone, and exactly here it becomes quite clear that the Finow X5 is more of a standalone wearable instead of a phone companion. The only thing the watch's app can do is to push notifications from the phone to the watch. There is no way to accept calls, write messages or anything like that from the watch on your phone. The only thing that's possible despite notifications is to sync the phone books of both devices. Well, notifications alone would be pretty useful already, but in case of the Finow X5 that doesn't work properly as well. The feature itself does work, but it happened frequently that the watch lost connection to the phone, and from then it refused to pair until we deleted pairing entries in both devices, rebooted them and then did the pairing process again. This has been tested using stock Android, MIUI and Flyme OS devices, always with the same result. Something that managed to surprise us are mobile and Wi-Fi reception quality on the Finow X5. Despite its small size, the Finow X5 isn't behind any smartphone and can even keep up with some more expensive phones. The Bluetooth range could be a little better though, the antenna is placed inside the watch's body, which reduces signal. One wall in between the watch and the connected device is enough to cancel the connection. GPS unfortunately isn't usable at all. Positioning is possible in case you don't wear the watch, but as soon as you attach it to your wrist, the signal is lost. But basically, GPS is useless anyway since it sucks the battery empty in no time, so in the end, we don't care too much about it. Again, something surprising is how nice the speaker inside the Finow X5 sounds for such a small device. For sure, it isn't a great speaker for music, but it is very loud and, to be honest, notification sounds do sound quite awesome. The microphone sounds great as well, and it allows you to do phone calls even if the watch is like 50 centimeters away from your mouth. Even on the bicycle it is possible to do calls despite the wind noises, which is pretty impressive. And there we are at the last point of this review, and this is about battery. The cell inside the watch is 450 mAh in size and managed to reach a good battery life, but not out of the box. You actually have to implement a proper energy management using the useful automation app Tasker first. To do so, simply create a mechanism that turns off data as soon as the screen is off, but turns it on every 30 minutes for 1 minute again to check for notifications and then turning it off again. Doing so, you need much less energy without sacrificing usability. With this trick, we managed to squeeze between 1 to 2 days of battery life out the cell, depending on how intensively we use the watch, all while still receiving notifications on a regular basis. And really, 1 day is the minimum we got out of this watch with no issues whatsoever. Charging the Finow X5 takes around 2 hours if the watch is shut down. The charging dock is very well designed, the magnet inside of it is stronger and it's held in position with a small plastic nub in addition, which prevents the watch from sliding off. One negative point has to be mentioned though, the charging contacts on the watch have an issue with corrosion if they come in contact with sweat. Finow could have fixed that easily by using gold contacts, but they didn't. Seems like smartwatch manufacturers still have to learn a few lessons, since the same issues have been spotted on some much more expensive Android Wear watches as well. Conclusion: the Finow X5 is an extremely versatile smartwatch which does look and feel very nice too. It isn't for everybody though. The X5 mainly targets geeks and people who are looking for standalone wearables instead of a phone companion. But if you are one of those folks, the Finow X5 for sure is worth every single cent. So that's all from our side. If there are any questions left, please drop a comment. The shop link and more information can be found in the video description. If you like what we are doing here at China Mobile Mac, please pay us a visit at chinamobilemac.de or at our English site chinadevices.net. and follow us here on YouTube. So thanks for watching. Bye bye, over and out.